She spent 7 years of her life in a relationship with him. He left her after those 7 years, and just 90 days after, got married to somebody else. We hear these sad stories every day and everywhere. Church, at work, counseling sessions. We hear these stories, and there are going to be more and more of them. Some of them going to 7 years, 8 years, 9 years, even 14 years. There's a lot of heartbroken women, trauma, a lot of resentment, a lot of sadness. What are we going to do? That's what we're going to dig into. How do we make sure that we don't have this continuing, this dating dynamics that is destroying dating, destroying relationships, and destroying women? We're going to look at the 3 things we must do to make sure that this does not continue to happen. A situation where a woman will invest precious time of her life, 5 years, 3 years, 6 years, 7 years, even 10 years into a relationship, then it goes to nothing. It just goes into nothing. The first thing we're going to look at is when a relationship starts. A relationship should be definite. It should not be indefinite. What does that mean? If you go into a relationship, you shouldn't wait for a man to regulate the relationship. If you want the relationship to be indefinite, the man will be very comfortable. He likes it to be indefinite because maybe he doesn't have any plan for you. You are the one that have your time. Your time is very precious to you. So the first thing you are going to demand is that the relationship is defined. So many relationships are not defined. You don't know if it's a situation. You don't know if it's a relationship. You don't know if it's an almost relationship. You don't know if it's a situation. You don't know whether you are courting. You don't know. And so many women are reluctant to ask because they've been made to think that asking, what is this relationship? What are we doing? What are we called? So many people have been made to think that it's a sign that you are being dramatic. It's a sign that you are desperate. It's a sign that you are asking too much. So they prefer, let's just leave it the way it is. Let the man determine the days. Let him decide what it is. No, that's the biggest mistake you're making. What you are supposed to do is to actually demand. If the man is serious-minded enough, he's supposed to let you know. From the beginning, there should be clarity. Clarity means this is what I want. This is what we are doing. But when the clarity does not come from him willingly, it is left for you to ask from the beginning, what are we doing? What is the name of what we are doing? If he just says, well, let's just go, let's just see how it goes, he's just stringing you along, let's just see, don't rush, you should be more careful, because most times when people are just stringing you along and saying, let's go, let's see how it goes, most times it's like, oh, we're going nowhere. So you need to, from day one, insist on what are we doing. If we're wasting time, if we're investing time, we should know what we are doing. So definition is very important. You need to insist to get a definition of what you are doing. It's very important that you understand what I'm saying. A man shouldn't be taking a tax on your timeline. And I want you to understand what that means. I'm going to say it again. You shouldn't allow any man to take a tax on your timeline. What does that mean? You have a timeline for fertility as a woman. You have a timeline for getting married as a woman. Timeline for when you will raise the children, and then when you will grow and do other things. So there's a timeline in your life. If he's not going anywhere, if he's just drifting, you shouldn't drift with him, because if you are drifting with him, he's taking a tax on your timeline. He's cutting your timeline. The time you are supposed to use to date other more serious people is reducing. The time you're supposed to take to get married to other people is reducing. The time you're supposed to take to raise children is also reduced. So you shouldn't allow any man who is just grifter to take a tax, to charge unnecessarily on your timeline, because nobody deserves that. Nobody's worth that. You need to guide your timeline the way a lion guides her cubs, because it's your life. In business, they say time is money. In relationship, time is opportunity cost. You need to understand that. Anybody who is going into a relationship must understand that, just as they say in business, time is money. In relationship, time is opportunity cost. The time that he's wasting is time that you could have used to date other people that are more serious, get married, have children, and raise your children. It's important to understand that in a relationship, clarity is not cruelty. It is very important that you are clear on everything from day one. Please understand me. What that means is that you are going to be asking everything. There's no room for assumption. Don't assume anything. I talked to a woman in church one day, and she said, I assumed he will marry me. Why did you assume he will marry you? Because you saw him drawing close to you, you saw him pursuing you, you saw him following you. So you started to assume that he will marry you. He has never once said, I will marry you. He has never once said, I want to see your parents. He never once said, where's your mother? Where's your father? He never once asked you anything concerning marriage. You just assume he will marry you. So it's very important in relationships that you ask everything. You need to ask, what are we doing? What is our relationship called? How will you define our relationship? You must ask, what is the direction of our relationship? Where is he heading? Is he heading to the altar, or is he heading to a counter? Where is he heading? And then you should also ask the last one, what is the duration of our relationship? You must ask everything. Don't assume anything, because assuming is the lowest level of knowledge. Assumption, the lowest level of knowledge. If you want to know, ask. Even the Bible said, ask and you shall receive. If you're not willing to ask, that means you're not willing to receive. It is only when you ask. And if you are asking and he's not giving you serious answers, or he's giving you non-answers or almost answers, that should be a sign that you are dealing with somebody who is not serious. You're wasting your time. The duration of your relationship. Why is it very important? Because it's one of the most important things. The relationship is something done over time, and time has to be checked. How long will it take? Asking for duration is not rejection, it's protection. I'm going to say it again. Insisting on knowing the duration of a relationship, the duration of your dating or courtship or whatever you call it, is very, very important. Because if you don't do that, you could be going from 1 year to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5. And that's how people get to 6, 7, 8. I've seen people who were dating for 14 years because they didn't set a boundary on duration. If dating or relationship or whatever you call it is to seek suitability, whether we can marry each other, there should be a time. How long do you need to know whether we are suitable for marriage, whether we are compatible enough? It should be a time. Is it 6 months? Is it 12 months? Is it 18 months? It shouldn't be indefinite. It shouldn't be forever and ever. It shouldn't be an eternity. carnal thing. You just continue saying, 1 year goes to 2 years, 3 years go to 4 years, 5 years, 10 years. That's not dating. That's drifting. And when you are drifting, you could drift into anything. When you are dating or in a relationship, you need to work on alignment. The problem is when people are in a relationship, they spend all their time working on attachment. Of course, attachment is natural. When you see somebody every time, spend hours, days, weeks, months, years with them, you start to get emotionally attached to them. Sometimes even financially attached to them. Sometimes you share your house, sometimes you share your money, you share your bed, you share your food. You start to share a lot of things. You share friends, you share family, you go to weddings with them. People start to know you with them. You get so entangled emotionally that you become almost one. Instead of seeking alignment, which is where do we agree on family, on finance, on faith, on raising children, on parenting, where do we agree? Where is the suitability we have as possible married people? So alignment is stunted. Alignment is not growing. Attachment is growing so fast. So everywhere they see you, you are like a couple. You've grown so much in attachment. What people don't know is that you have no alignment. In fact, you are out of alignment. You are out of alignment. So you have really not achieved anything relationship-wise, because in terms of alignment, you have nothing. You're almost zero. You're not even talking about the important thing. Where do we stand? What do you think about finances? What do you think about faith? What do you think about family? What do you think about parenting? What do you think about saving money? What do you think about retirement? You have no alignment because you don't even discuss it. But you have so much attachment to each other. So much attachment, sometimes to each other's friends, each other's family. You go to weddings together, you go to this together, you go to that together. Unfortunately, when the relationship ends, it will be like a divorce. Finally, we are going to nail the hammer on the head. You must know when enough is enough. That means you must be brave enough to break up. I'm going to say it again. Sometimes you must be brave enough to break up. A lot of people don't want to break up, not because they're enjoying what they have, but because they're thinking about their sunk in cost, what they have put in, what they have invested. I've invested all my time, 7 years of my time, 8 years of my time. I've done this, I've done that, I've done that. I don't want to say a lot of the things that people say they've done in a relationship. They just continue hanging in, hoping that instead of losing all this investment, in terms of money, in terms of emotion, in terms of sex, in terms of abortions, in terms of a lot of things, instead of missing all that, just hang in and hope. But you must be brave enough to break up at some time, because at sometimes a breakup is your best breakthrough. I'm going to say that again. At some point, a breakup is your best breakthrough. You can be dating somebody for 7 years, and finally you break up with him. 3 months after, you meet the right person and you get married, and you'll be wondering, what have I been doing with my life? So you can't say because this is not going well, you are just going to hang in there with it. It's going down, you are going down with it. Because it's not going up, it's going down. It's getting worse. So you are not there because of love. You are there because of what you've lost. And because you are there because of what you've lost, you lose more. So at some point, you have to cut your course and say, look, you have to be brave enough to break up. And that's what we're saying. You need to recognize in a relationship when it's time to brave it and break up, and hope that your breakup, because most times, soon after that breakup, you meet the right person. Yeah, if this message has spoken to you, I want you to share it, like it, send it to as many people as possible. And if you are new to this channel or if you're a returning person, my name is Forward JP Forward. Thank you for watching.